Humans form societies to fulfill specific needs and aspirations. To maintain these continuous, bonded relationships, we rely on a way to document the patterns of our lives. This documentation, what we call literature, preserves our cultural heritage and holds the memory of historical events long after the people who lived them are gone. One traditional view suggests that literature acts as a mirror, reflecting our shared cultures, traditions, and values back to us. We see this tension play out when sections of society attempt to ban works that they find in conflict with their specific religious or cultural devotion. Salman Rushdie became a central figure in this conflict when his writing was seen as an assault on religious beliefs. The release of the Satanic Verses led to severe protests and international condemnations, as its themes clashed violently with a section of the global community. Taslima Nasreen faced a similar storm with her novel Lajja, which challenged orthodox norms and ultimately forced her into exile. The friction isn't limited to the page. Artists like M.F. Hussein faced severe charges and saw their work destroyed because it offended a section of Indian Hindu society. When themes or language appear hostile to a group's feelings, the rejection often escalates into the literal burning of the media itself. Even modern films like Utta Punjab have faced organized resistance and calls for bans when they attempt to portray difficult societal issues. These bans represent a defensive response, a moment where a group identifies a reflection that they refuse to acknowledge as their own. This fear isn't always about the subject matter. Sometimes society reacts to the medium, to the language being used to speak to the people. In 16th century Varanasi, the elite pundits completely rejected Tulsidasa's work, the Ramcharitmanas. For these gatekeepers, Sanskrit was the only acceptable language for religious literature. By writing in the common language of the people, Tulsidas threatened their exclusive control over sacred knowledge. Europe experienced the same gatekeeping. Greek and Latin were the languages of the elite, and native languages were marginalized until writers like Francis Bacon began to publish in English. Writing in the language of the people is a rebellious act. It takes the power of the written word out of the hands of the elite and gives it back to the community. Literature and society cannot be separated. Literature cannot sustain itself without the society it describes, and a society remains unnoticed without its literary records. Society provides the foundation, the concrete realities of religion, caste, and tradition. Literature takes those concrete facts and uses imagination to explore internal subjects like alienation, transformation, and change. This process is how we shape our understanding of the world. Each force constantly feeds back into the other. This relationship is often defined by friction. It is through critique and the challenging of norms that a society evolves. To understand a culture, we must look at the stories it tells about itself. But to understand its power, we must look at the stories it tries to silence.